Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Schmitty's Sportscast. This podcast is all about getting you guys to know Division I athletes here at Eastern Illinois University. We'll have athletes, coaches, anyone else who wants to come on the podcast and get them just to tell about their lives. And well, for this first episode, we have a very special guest, goalkeeper, women's soccer player, Ella Kratochvil. Thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Thank you for having me.
So we're just going to go right into it, and we're going to start with, where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in a very small town, Wind Lake, Wisconsin. It's probably like 5,000 people max, so very small.
Cool. And then when did you start playing soccer?
I always did like rec. Like my parents threw me into every sport that they could when I was younger, and soccer was the only thing that I really found a love for. I mean, I played volleyball through high school, but soccer was the thing I knew I wanted to continue my career in. So I started just like basic stuff at 4 and then started rec and then got into club around 10 or 13, like between there, and then it just kind of flourished from there.
And then tell me a little bit about like your club ball, because I know club in soccer has become much bigger than a lot of other sports where high school is kind of not as relevant anymore. So kind of what was your experience with that?
Yeah, my experience for club, I played the same club my entire time that I could. It was a really small club called Polonia. Compared in Wisconsin especially, there's bigger clubs like SC Wave. So competing with them was very difficult at times. So we lost a lot of games, but it made me grow as a player, especially seeing so many shots a game. It made me grow in that way, and then it also made me grow as a teammate. So being from a smaller club, you kind of just, it's part of it, you know.
And then I know you said you played volleyball for a little bit. Did you play that all through high school? Like, when did you play all that?
Yeah, I picked up in 7th grade when I was actually very against volleyball for a while. I didn't like it, didn't want anything to do with it, but my grandpa and my mom got me into it. Then my brother played all through high school and throughout college, so I played for as long as I could, but I just never loved it as much as I love soccer.
And did you always play goalkeeper? Did you play any other positions?
Yeah, I was a forward for the majority of my life. I think I picked up goalkeeping right before I entered high school, like 8th grade maybe. But yeah, again, small club. There were like set goalkeepers that played every time, so I never really got the opportunity to play. And then I entered something called ODP, which is Olympic Development Program, and it's just a bunch of girls from the state of Wisconsin, and it goes for every single state. So I had the opportunity to do that and try out as a goalkeeper, did well, made the state team, and then just kept growing from there.
And I will definitely get back to the ODP, but what was the biggest challenge going from forward, where you're trying to score the ball, to now goalkeeper, where you're trying to keep the ball out?
Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment for me, just because like I loved being involved a lot, and I loved being the goal scorer. I loved like trying to do players one-on-one, but I was never that good compared to like where I'm at now. Like my field playing abilities and my goalkeeping abilities are just night and day.
And then what do you think like led to that? Like, how did you become such a good goalkeeper when you've been playing forward your entire life?
Yeah, we had, my parents are my number one supporters. So when I was like, I want to be a goalkeeper, they reached out to people and found coaches for me. So I had one. There's a professional indoor team in Wisconsin called the Milwaukee, I want to say it's Wave. And so the goalkeeper there, his name's Matt Isold. He has trained me for years. So that's where I get the majority of my skill from.
And then now going back to the ODP, just tell me more about that, because that seems really cool. I saw it on website. I was looking up your name before this, and I saw that you've done this Olympic development program, and like you were going international and stuff like that. So just tell me more about this.
Yeah, so pretty much my experience with it was first time I ever joined It was more of like, oh, some of my club teammates are doing it, so I was like, I want to be involved in that. That seems fun. It would look good on like if I ever had the opportunity to go play pro or even just in college. And so you try out. I'm an '04, so I was born in 2004, but it splits half and half with the years. So there's '04 olders and '04 youngers. And I was a younger because I'm born in September, but you go through like this huge like tryout thing, 3 days worth of it. And then from there, they take a group of 20 to 25 girls and make like the state team. Okay. So I had the opportunity to be on that team. I was on that team for like 4 or 5 years. But I had to try out again each and every year because you never know who's coming in. And after that, there you go. We played at like Xavier, so we played in Ohio, we played in Michigan, Indiana, all that sort of stuff. And from that, we had like the Midwest group, and the top players from from all the states in the Midwest get to go to Saginaw Valley State, which is in Michigan. And again, you're with every single region, and it's basically another tryout to see who can go to like Boca Raton and play on like the Midwest team. And then after Boca, there's like a trip to Costa Rica for like international, but then it's again like the Midwest group, like the South, everything like that, like all the regions. And I had the opportunity to go play in Costa Rica for a week in February and right before COVID hit.
Yeah, tell me about that, going to Costa Rica to play soccer. I mean, that must be a dream come true.
Yeah, it was. I didn't think I'd make it. I didn't think I was good enough to make it. At that point, like my confidence was at like probably an all-time low. But getting to go to Costa Rica and play, and there was a group of, I want to say it was like 20 of us, all of us, which like have made it to the next level playing college soccer somewhere, Division 1 through 3, everything. And it was an amazing group of girls, and we played against girls from Costa Rica, 40-year-olds. Like it was an age range for sure. But then we did things like we went to waterfalls and we hiked, and we went to an orphanage, and we kind of like served the community there. And that was something that I think that trip specifically allowed me to grow and just like made me realize like, look at all the opportunities that I've earned and I've been given with, especially in the orphanage, you know?
Mm-hmm. So from there, when did you come to EIU? Why did you come to EIU?
Yeah, my freshman year was 2023, so I graduated high school, and then a quick 2-month turnaround, and I was here. But my recruiting process, like, out of all the coaches I had talked to, I was really, really interested in EIU and some other schools that really gave me, like, the time that I wanted. And not, like, playing time, but, like, my first initial phone call with Coach Dirk, all my other phone calls had been, like, 20 minutes long. I believe ours was, like, an hour and a half. Any question I had, he went into full detail about everything. And that's kind of what, like, started the, I really want to go here thought. And then after that, I took a unofficial visit. So I was here. It was during finals week in January, or they had just gotten back from finals week from winter break, and I showed up for a 7 a.m. practice inside, and I live 4.5 hours away. So like, I came the night before, had a good time, and then that day, all the girls were just like, they walked into the gym. They were like, "Oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you. Like, where are you from?" All that. And Coach Dirk at the time, he was like, "Oh no, like go warm up, guys. Like we'll get to talk to her later." And just seeing like the team chemistry that they had already had compared to the other schools that I had been to, it was just night and day.
So the 7 a.m. practice didn't scare you off or anything?
No. Especially now, like we have 6 a.m. practices, and they're the highlight of my day. I get to work out early, see my friends early on, be with people that I consider family, like really early on in the morning, which sets the tone for the day.
And then I don't think too many people are actually aware of kind of what goes into being a D1 athlete. So tell me a little bit about your training schedule from 6 a.m. or whenever to whenever you're done training.
Yeah, so I'll just throw out Tuesdays. Those are my busiest days. So up 5:15 in the morning, 6 a.m. practice. Got to be there at like 5:45 before, because you always want to start on time with us. So if like I'm a junior, so if juniors are on gear, we go to the locker room, we get all like the soccer balls, the cones, the pennies, all that, go to the field, work out for our 2 hours. Then I go home, eat, go to class 9:30 to 12:15. Then right after that, it's training room, making sure my body's right, still eating enough, hydrating enough. Then after that, we have lift at 4, and that runs like 45 minutes. And then after that, we have like a team meeting, so we discuss like match identity, what we want to focus on for the upcoming games. And then after that, it's kind of go homework, go eat again, and go to bed.
So just absolutely just full day. Is that most like training days kind of like that?
Kind of. I think it depends on my class schedule, but Wednesdays, again, like 6 a.m. practice, meeting at 6:30 p.m. So it's like 12 hours of like really all I think about is soccer in season. And I know that's really bad. And if my professors are watching this, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's all I think about right now is just soccer.
Just making sure you're staying fit and staying ready for the next game.
Yes.
And then this season has been going pretty well for you. But I didn't want to talk about the last 2 seasons. You've had some injury problems. Could you just tell us about that?
Yeah. So my freshman year, I tore my UCL, which is in my elbow, playing against Valpo. So it was the first like non-exhibition game. It was our first preseason game. I went up for a cross. I landed and the girl's knee landed on the back of my elbow. So it hyperextended and I partially tore my elbow. And then I was out for like a month. I think I got in to a few games. I want to say like right before conference, maybe the game before conference, and then played throughout conference. Season ended. Was like adamant on getting my elbow pretty much figured out. And I mean, I still wear an elbow brace to this day for like precaution, even though like, yes, it's still torn, but it's not going to get fixed without surgery. And then my sophomore year, I want to say like the 3rd day of preseason, we were doing a crossing drill where my teammates shot it. And I went up to save the ball, bent my wrist backwards, fractured it, and was out until conference. I think I missed 1 conference game. So I didn't get to play in exhibition matches, preseason matches in the first conference games.
So how's it like coming back from injury? Like those seasons as well as now, just trying to deal with injuries and knowing you've had them before 2 years in a row. How do you kind of not just psych yourself out?
It's hard, especially like coming back from my elbow. I was not mentally in it. I like confidence all-time low. And I didn't know if I had the strength to come back that soon, because usually when somebody tears an elbow, it's probably like immediately surgery. It's like Tommy John surgery, which is what a lot of baseball players get. And it was hard not to be like, oh, like I can't come back from this. But all props to my coaches, my teammates, and my trainers for being able to mentally get me back in the game. And same thing with my wrist. When I broke my wrist, it was all props to them being able to like keep me afloat, make sure I was okay, like physically, emotionally, mentally, like all that. So really all props to them.
And now going into this season, it's been a really good start. Women's soccer is currently 1st place in the conference, as well as you had 6 games in a row where you held the other team scoreless. Kind of what goes into that?
Yeah, I will be the first one to say that it's 100% my defense. Those girls work so hard every single day. Off days, they're out on the field training, really putting in the work to make my job easy. I think we have the best defense. We have the best like culture within the defense, which is amazing, because coming from like club in high school, I didn't really have like a connection with my defense like that. And this year, like Colleen, Addie, Casey, Hadley, like my center backs, especially Hannah, they're just like, they trust me, and I think trust goes a long way in those results of not being able to get scored on, you know?
I mean, definitely, there's an old saying of defense wins championships, and with this team, I mean, you can see that.
Yes.
You can see how well everyone's playing, because defense and goalkeeper are obviously doing really well to keep that. And with that, kind of what goes into goalkeeping? What goes into what I feel like a lot of people would see as one of the hardest positions in soccer?
Yeah. Goalkeeping, it's different beast. Like it's its own thing. Positioning is huge. Communication is even bigger than that. You can be able to save a ball, but if you have like communication that's not working out, like your team isn't gonna flourish, as I would say. Like it's just gonna fall apart. Like you're gonna crumble if there's no communication. So communication is a huge thing when it comes to goalkeeping. Also like explosiveness, like positioning again, like how far are they, so how far can I be off my line, or where are they located on the field so I can cut the angle down to make the goal look a little smaller.
And then would you say that goalkeeping is one of the hardest positions, if not the hardest position in soccer?
I would say it's the hardest. I feel like there's a lot of pressure that comes with it. I feel like it could be the hardest mentally, but physically, I don't think it's the hardest. I think everybody else on the field, like we have girls running upwards of 7 miles a game, and I'm running maybe like 0.5, like up to the 18 and back. But no, I wouldn't say it's physically the hardest. Mentally, it's probably the hardest just because you get scored on, but you can make like 7 or 8 like really good saves, but that one that got scored is kind of what people look at.
And then I know there's been a lot of hype on campus for women's soccer, including last week as campus had a Lorax running around campus, giving away flyers for the next soccer game. Well, Kratochvil was actually the Lorax running around. How did that happen?
I love the Lorax. It's my favorite movie of all time, probably. And I've been seeing these things on TikTok of people dressing up as the Lorax, and it like makes my day every time I see it. So I'm like, you know what? If we win against Moorhead, like, let's go surprise my coaches in the office. So I put it on, and I was like, I got it off Amazon. It was like $40, best purchase I've ever made. And I was just like, yeah, like, let's go see the coaches. So I think I have videos of like me surprising our head coach, and then our assistant coach already knew because I FaceTimed her like the day before with it on. And I was just like, you know what, like let's go have a little fun with it. And then I didn't know we were going around campus. Actually, I'm friends with Natalie, who's like a GA in the athletics department. I was like, I have flyers that Sandy King gave me, so I was like, you want to go hand them out? And she's like, yeah. So we took a ride around the golf cart. Thankfully, it wasn't like in between classes where everybody was out. It was just kind of whoever was out on campus was out, and they got to see it. But yeah, I did not know that. Like, I thought they were just recording for fun. Like, I didn't think it would go on EIU Panther Nation. But
yeah, I saw it on Instagram later that day, and it was something. Are you planning on dressing up as well for Halloween?
No. I don't really like Halloween that much, but like we're in season all the time for Halloween, so the most we'll do is like have a movie night at my house with the whole team and like put on a scary movie or something, probably like Hocus Pocus or something, and put on like pajamas and have a potluck and bake cookies or something like that.
So you don't really like the whole Halloween season that much?
No, I'm not a big fan. For like scary stuff, so I just try to stay away from it as much as possible.
Do you have like a favorite holiday or favorite like time of the year?
Yeah, I really like Christmas. It brings my family together, and like I also really like Easter just because I am a very religious person. So like just the whole thing of like Easter, the 3 days, like Jesus rising again, like it's really important for me to celebrate that with the people around me.
And then are you a part of the FCA on campus?
Yeah, I am.
Could you tell me about that? Because I feel like it kind of popped up like last year, a year ago, and I feel like I haven't heard too much about that.
Yeah, so Trey, he runs FCA, and he is just a phenomenal person. He came in 2 years ago, my freshman year, got to meet him for the first time. And his first words, like, to us were, "I'm going to disciple the crap out of you." And I think that really stuck with me. And, like, I have just recently gotten rebaptized back in February 23rd last year, or technically this year. But Yeah, FCA is just amazing. It brings a lot of like-minded people together, and I mean, Monday nights at 7:30, we sit there, we listen to a message, we worship, we pray, and it's just all like my stress and anxiety and whatever I have been going through for the past week, it all goes away as soon as I step in that room with those people. And I mean, they're just amazing people to be around.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like people in athletics that are a part of it because I've seen stuff on Instagram and stuff like that, and I feel like it's been a pretty big movement the last like couple years.
Yeah, we had to move out of the FCA building because we had so many people that were coming, we just didn't have room to house them anymore. So we moved across the street to the church right behind Dirty's to give us a lot more room, and even then, like every seat in there is full.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. And kind of going into not like sports or kind of just going into a different category, I guess. Do you have any like hobbies that you like to do in your free time?
Yeah, my best friend here, we go up to Champaign a lot, and so we just kind of bum around Champaign, go to Seven Brew all the time. We're big crumble cookie fans, so like we go there all the time, and we try to find something new to do each time we go. But other than that, it's like I'm watching movies, doing homework, which is horrible as a hobby, but me and my roommates like will like bake every once in a while. So like a couple weeks ago we made like pumpkin spice monkey bread, like pull apart bread, and it was so good. So we bake a lot. And then I'm a little bit of a clean freak, so I love to clean, but I don't like to clean my room. I'll clean the whole house, but I won't touch my room.
Seven Brew. You say you like to go to Seven Brew. Did you see one's coming in Charleston? Are you excited for that?
I did see that. I'm actually going to try to get a job there because then I can get points with my phone number. And I actually like love the culture of Seven Brew. Every time we go, I promise you, like once a week, sometimes twice, depending on what the class schedules are looking like. But I love Seven Brew, and I'm so excited for it to be here.
And then you also said you like movies. Do you have like a favorite movie or favorite movie genre?
Yeah, I love Disney movies. I'm a Disney movie fanatic. My mom, she raised me to grow up on Disney. We never really watched, I've never seen Ted Lasso or any human movies besides Girl vs. Monster, which is a Halloween movie. But I love Disney movies. They're so much fun, and I feel like there's good messages behind some of them. So,
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, the most, especially like Pixar movies. I mean, they're all about central themes of either togetherness or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions I had. So we'll get into the final question of the episode, which, if you've tuned in to the Den before, you saw that we have done a podcast similar to this a couple years ago. I was a co-host on that one, and at the end of every single episode, I would ask, if you could be a Disney princess, well, who would you be? It's going to be a little bit different this time. Be a little more broad, because some people did not know how to answer that question whatsoever. So for this, the same question I'm going to ask every time is, if you could be any movie character, just drop yourself right in that movie world as that character, who would you be?
Fitting the theme, I'd low-key choose the Lorax, just because, I think it's funny. Except I'm not short, so I'm just gonna, I think it's so funny. But I also think the Lorax has, a good mentality, and, he's very, protective, I guess, over his trees, and I feel like that's kind of who I am as a person, very protective over my friends and my family and the people that I love, so probably the Lorax.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and hope everyone returns next week. Thank you.